The digital items market is booming, and Fortnite alone made an estimated $1 billion off of selling skins in 2018. But skins and loot boxes aren't the only digital items that are booming. In 2021, we've also seen NFTs, non-fungible tokens, go mainstream. The artist Beeple sold an NFT for $69 million, and an NBA Top Shot card of LeBron James sold for $210,000. Combine games with NFTs and you have something very interesting. This video explains why NFTs are the future of free-to-play games. Before creating the decentralized blockchain Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin was an avid World of Warcraft player, but one day everything changed. He has this to say about it. Blizzard removed the damage component from my beloved warlock Siphon Life spell. I cried myself to sleep, and on that day I realized what horrors centralized services can bring. This set Buterin on a path that would ultimately lead him to propose the idea for Ethereum, a decentralized crypto network that could execute smart contracts. Those smart contracts can do many things. One of those things is to represent a unique digital item on the blockchain through a non-fungible token, or NFT. An NFT is a unit of data stored on a digital ledger called the blockchain. It can represent items such as photos, videos, audio, and other digital files while certifying that they are unique. The term non-fungible isn't the most intuitive since it's rarely used for the physical world, but NFTs are digital abstractions that represent one-of-a-kind assets. An NFT can be created or minted by anyone and later be sold and traded on an open market. At first, American video games were purely skill-based, think games like Pong. Then Japanese games came along and introduced storylines and role-playing aspects. And then Korean games invented free-to-play, building a deeper economy on top of what the Japanese had built. And then the Chinese took the Korean concepts and jacked up the economics tenfold. So how do free-to-play games monetize? In America, free-to-play mostly focuses on cosmetics. In Japan, it's about loot boxes. In Korea, it's both boxes and item shops. And in China, it's item shops all the way. This monetization tactic works because if you want the virtual item in a game, you have to buy it in the game. You can't buy it from somewhere else cheaper, and you can't steal it. Games have a true monopoly on their items. And it's a brilliant way to monetize. Free-to-play games is the highest yielding category in gaming, making up roughly 80% of digital game revenue. However, a majority of the $87 billion generated from free-to-play games in 2018 came from just 2% of the player base. In many free-to-play games, items have a minimal monetary return because you can't resell that item. This means that the return a player gets from buying an item is the experience of owning it and displaying it in the game. If the player stops playing the game, that item becomes worthless. In some games, there are marketplaces to resell items, but most are very limited compared to proper markets. Take the popular game platform Steam as an example. It has a thriving community market where in-game items can be bought and sold. However, Steam takes a 5% fee for each item bought, and for games like Team Fortress 2 and Dota 2, they take an additional 10%. Steam also restricts wallet balances to $2,000 and the highest price for a single item to $1,800. Of course, there are ways around this. Items have been sold for a lot more than $1,800, like the ethereal flame pink war dog in Dota 2 that sold for $38,000 in 2013. But that requires the buyer and seller to make a transaction outside the platform, which increases the risk for both parties, while also leaving money on the table for the game's creators. Like I said, free-to-play is a great business model. It's generating over $80 billion a year, but in its current form, it's limiting its potential. Currently, only a very niche group of people are interested in spending big bucks in games. This needs to scale so a larger part of the player base is interested in spending more money in-game. And there is a clear trajectory from in-app purchases to NFTs. By building a free-to-play games marketplace and economy on a blockchain like Ethereum, games can guarantee scarcity, ownership, and security around their digital goods while also making them tradable. Many forget that a crypto network is an API on steroids. Most likely this will unlock massive profitability for gaming companies since more people will be interested in purchasing in-game items that are freely tradable and that are not tied to the governance of a centralized platform. What's even more likely is that it will create even more possibilities for monetization in games, similar to what we're seeing in Axie Infinity, where you can actually earn money by playing the game. The Travis Scott concerts in Fortnite generated $20 million. What physical concerts can generate those numbers? None. It's impossible. While this is not an NFT, it shows the possibilities for monetization in the digital world that is not possible in the physical world. By allowing players to own rather than rent their items and align them through shared economics, we will see much more money being spent and made in these digital economies.